All right.
Ready now.
You guys, we're actually live on the city's Facebook page, so I'll just hand it over to the media to ask Dave Mays. And Dave, make sure you introduce yourself at the beginning. Ask him any questions that you'd like about our preparations.
I'm Dave Mays. I'm the Public Services Director for the City of Wilmington.
Let's just start off broad and talk about what you guys are doing here at the city to prep all of our roads and everything for this weekend.
Well, we have some snow and icing equipment. We're outfitting trucks with plows, even though we don't really think plows are going to be necessary. It's always good to practice. So we'll have plows mounted on probably 4 trucks. We are going to be doing some brining today, a salt water mixture that will be applied with a couple of trucks today, like this truck, this truck right here. And we also have salt and sand spreading equipment. And we'll do that throughout a lot of the main city-owned roads, as well as trying to focus the spreading of our sand and salt mixture on roads that tend to have an incline. That's where we'll concentrate those.
And then I know that the precipitation is supposed to be a mixture, so is there any concern that some of this cold rain may wash away what y'all are doing right now and planning to do throughout the day?
Absolutely. And when you put brine out on the road and it's followed by rain, you lose the effectiveness. But I think in preparation, we'd rather do it and not need it. We can always redo it if the need becomes available. But yes, that absolutely is a concern. DOT, if you've driven around town, you've seen that they've already done that for a lot of the state-owned roads throughout Wilmington. So, but this is what the best practice is, and we're going to follow what that best practice is.
What's your message to the citizens about tomorrow? What would you like them to know about driving around the city and the county?
Well, what I would say is don't go out unless you have to. And we'll do everything that we can to make the roads as safe as possible. Ultimately, with ice, that's the most difficult of situations that we would have. And if you don't have to go out, please don't. Our public safety folks will be out there, and I know they will have the same message: don't go out unless you absolutely have to.
And when's the advisory for stop driving, stay at home if you can? When will that start, and do you anticipate?
That doesn't come from me. We're prepared to be out here and deploy our staff to make sure that we're doing what we need to do to make the roads safe. But the advisories don't come from me.
And how many of these trucks will you have going out today trying to get all of this done ahead of the precipitation?
Today we'll be brining with 2 trucks, and that'll get a lot of what we would be considered to be most important. The main more major routes that are owned by the city. Tomorrow we'll have 3 of these trucks loaded and ready with the sand and salt mixture, and they'll be out before the sun comes up, driving the town and looking for those spots that need it.
Just for context, I know you mentioned brining a few times. Kind of what is the purpose of that process?
The purpose of adding salt out there on the roads is it helps raise the elevation of freezing. So you essentially delay the process of the roads becoming frozen, or even encourage, once it is frozen, for it to melt quicker. So it's a means to keep the hazard down to a minimum in terms of time.
You guys obviously brining your roads today. We'll be out with salt trucks if needed. We don't live in an area where we see a ton of severe winter weather, ice or snow or anything like what we're expecting this weekend. Are you guys worried at all about running out of what you might have if you need it for a longer period of time?
No, we don't. We're not worried because we have good access to supply of both sand and salt. We can pick up salt literally right down the street. So no, if we do use what we have, we've got access to get more, and we've got good relationship with those. They know what we need, and I mean they're here in town, so they're going to make sure that we have what we need in order to keep our roads as safe as possible.
And I guess just for context, how many miles of roads does the city of Wilmington maintain in the area?
The city owns about 400 miles of roads. There are more roads in town that are either privately owned or owned by DOT.
Okay.
Our operations today are focused on just a portion of those 400 miles, mainly the higher traffic roads, the collector roads that are owned by us. We depend on DOT to take care of their roads, and as I said, they've been out putting the brine mixture on their roads. But we try and cooperate with them as much as possible. So.
Anything else that you want to add that we didn't ask you?
I'm good.
How are city services going to be impacted by this potentially?
As it stands right now, the main service is trash collection. We are primed and ready to continue to collect tomorrow morning for the Friday routes. It's really the Friday route that is that we're most concerned about, because that's tomorrow, and we're going to try and be done by noon. That's our goal. We are going to do everything that we can to pick up trash first, recycling as our second priority, and beyond that, between bulky and yard waste, between our staffing problems and the weather, it's going to be very difficult for us to do anything beyond trash and or recycling. So the impact will be that we'll have to wait for bulky and yard waste until next week for the Friday area. But we'll do the best we can. I got to say kudos to my staff, because these guys come in and they go out and work in conditions where people they don't want to be out working in these conditions. But we know that it's our citizens depend on it. So all the guys that are coming in to help make the road safe and get the trash collected, please say thank you to them, because they know that it's needed and it's important to our citizens, and that's why they're doing it.
I think we're good. Anyone else? Cool. Thanks so much.
You're welcome.